All right, guys, the time is here. Today's August 13th, Tuesday, August 13th, and today is my first day of school. So, be retiring in December, possibly as early as November, I think, but I'm gonna have to check into that for sure. But at the minimum, it'll be uh, end of December, and my teaching career will be over. So kind of exciting. Uh, a little bit bittersweet, but mostly really, really exciting. I guess if I had a choice and you could say, well, you can go ahead and work this half of the year, or you can go ahead and retire now. I'm pretty sure I would say, well, let's go ahead and retire now and start the next chapter in my life. But as it is, I have to continue working. I have to get 4/10 of a school year in, which is basically half the year. So that'll put me, in the late November, December range. Um, man, a lot of positives to take from it, I suppose. Just the fact that I've been able to make it through this far as a teacher. I remember when I started, I didn't think. Well, before I started teaching, I was in the Navy, and with the Navy, you get shifted around a little bit. So, I spent time in Connecticut, spent time in Washington State, spent time on shore, spent time at sea. So, like, you kind of move around a little bit. But in teaching career, the only options you really have is if you can change school districts, or you can change buildings within your school district, or you can change grade levels depending on what kind of teaching certification you have. So for me, I've changed quite a bit actually, just kind of shake things up. But I did that because I didn't think I would be able to stay in one classroom, one grade level, one subject for my entire career. I just thought that would be um, way too monotonous, way too boring. Would make me become, complacent in my job, and that's one thing I really have tried to avoid throughout my careers. Just becoming complacent, because I don't think anybody wins if you become complacent as an employee. Kind of become really predictable, routine oriented, and I don't think that's good for. It's not good for you as a worker. It's not good for the teacher, because you're always trying to, create new content, create new lesson plans, make it things interesting for yourself. And if it's interesting for you, then most likely that's going to come out for your students as well, and they're going to be more interested in what you're doing. So as a result, I've changed. Well, I've taught fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, language arts, social studies, and science. And looks like I mentioned in a previous video that as a worker, when you're looking at retirement, you're going to be replaced. And just like I said, my school district did replace me, which is a great thing, because now, um, as I finish up my work career, my teaching career, and I say work career because I, may end up doing something else. Um, but today I get to actually meet the person who's going to replace me. And bonus here, talked to my superintendent a few weeks ago, and like his plan for me as I wrap up my career is to be able to go into the classroom and with my previous classroom, my seventh grade language arts classroom, and actually provide some assistance for the new teacher to make sure she gets off to a good start. It can be overwhelming. When I started my teaching career, it was pretty much, hey, here's your room, here's a key, have at it, good luck. And it was really hands-off approach, and I kind of appreciate it, I guess, because gave me a chance to figure things out on my own. I did have a mentor and a teacher that I trusted to ask a lot of questions, and I did ask a lot of questions. Although today, 2024, a new teacher coming in, there are so many things you have to do that are not necessarily, let's say everything's related and tied together, but it's not necessarily directly related to what you're actually doing on a daily basis in the classroom, as far as making lesson plans, providing instruction for the kids, trying to figure out, where your kids are, what kind of learners they are. You have to do so many things that don't help you in that aspect, that you can really get sidetracked pretty easily and really overwhelmed really easily. I know even as a veteran teacher, the last couple of years, with the addition of new things, it has become a little bit overwhelming. And if I'm being completely honest, it's probably um, those are contributing factors to why I want to leave the teaching profession, is because it seems, in my opinion anyway, it seems like we're just straying from what we're actually supposed to be doing, which is trying to figure out what kind of learning style is best for the kids and what kind of content we can create that allows us to teach our standards to the students in a way that they can actually become learners, and not just learners in the short term, but lifelong learners as well, to make it really, really interesting, to make them want to work to become better, because I think that's always been the key. So much of what we teach is going to be forgotten for sure. Think back about your own time you spent in school, and you learn so much that you don't have the bandwidth to keep everything in your brain, so you data dump stuff. But if you can learn to work hard in the classroom, then my philosophy has always been you can put that work ethic into play in some other arena in your life at any given time. So even if you weren't necessarily a great student in a classroom, if you learn to work hard, learn to be efficient, then whatever path you choose in life, well, then you'll have that quality about you, right? You'll know that, hey, when I apply myself, I have the ability to work hard and be successful in whatever it is I decide to do. And I think that's what education should be. And I think we're straying from that. Now it's like, can you master this standard in order to pass a test? It seems to be the big point. Although I will say, like the school district I work in and the principals I had, it matters to them. They want to see, good numbers after the test, the state test that we take every year, but they're not entirely fixated on it. They've been more fixated on the last few years, the well-being of each student, making sure that the student feels comfortable, feels like they're appreciated, feels like they're important. So I do commend, the administrators I've had in the past for making sure that part of education, that part of daily life, doesn't go unnoticed, because we do go to great lengths to make sure every student, feels wanted, feels respected. And that is a job in and of itself for sure. But anyway, as I mentioned, today is my first day. We get started a little bit early or a little bit late today. We go in at 11:30 and we're working until 7, I believe. We have a bit of a welcoming lunch to welcome new staff. And then we go to our buildings for a work day. And then from 5 to 7 tonight, we have open house for all the students and parents that want to come in and meet the teachers, see their new classrooms. So kind of and I think a lot of the students that I would have had this year probably don't know that I'm not going to be their teacher. So it'd be a chance for me to, meet them face to face and let them know what's going on, so they're not, left hanging out about what their year is going to look like. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys a little bit. I'm going to try in a little bit if I can get the teacher who's going to replace me to get on camera. I think it would be pretty entertaining to actually do a handoff, so to speak. Although not a handoff and say, good luck, have fun. It'll be like, hey, I'm here to help you in any way I can to make you successful in your first year. It's probably pretty key. I think if a new teacher has a really good first year, then they're more likely to stick around for a long period of time. I think I was alluding to that at the beginning of the video. Like when I first started teaching coming out of the Navy, I didn't think I would be in the teaching profession for more than 5 to 10 years. And that's not a knock on, the teaching profession or anything like that. It's just that I just, have a desire to keep things fresh and interesting in my life in terms of work and career. But here I am, 20 plus years later, same school district. I did change buildings a couple of times, but same school district for 20 plus years, and I don't regret a day of it. If I had it all to do over again, I can definitely say that I have enjoyed my time at the school district that I have been employed in for so long. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys in a little bit, and hopefully I can get the new teacher on camera as well. So I'll see you in a little bit.